Property buyers should know that once the deed of sale is signed and notarized, the deadline to transfer the land title in the Philippines starts running. The buyer should have already made arrangements with the seller and the broker to facilitate the transfer of title process. Welcome to this informative guide on how to transfer a land title to your name. Whether you've acquired a property through purchase, inheritance, or other means, the process of transferring ownership involves several important steps. Let's break down the process. Step 1. Prepare the requirements for transfer of title. Make sure you have the original copy and at least 2 photocopies of the following: notarized deed of sale, tax identification number and ID of the buyer and the seller, transfer certificate of title for a house or a lot, condominium certificate of title for condominiums, tax clearance, tax declaration, real property tax for the current year, management certificate from the condominium admin, certificate of non-tenancy from the condominium admin again, photo of the property for sale, sworn declaration of no improvements to show that the sold property hasn't incurred any improvements, and special power of attorney or SPA if the person signing is not the owner indicated in the deed of sale, certificate of the Philippine consulate if the SPA was executed abroad, marriage certificate, birth certificate, and certificate of no marriage, vicinity map or location map of the property, and other documents required by the Register of Deeds like consolidation of ownership or mortgage settlement. Step 2. Submit all the required documents for tax computation. Once the deed of sale is signed and notarized, you need to submit to the regional office of the Bureau of Internal Revenue covering the jurisdiction of your property along with other required documents. The BIR representative will evaluate your documents and start computing for the capital gains tax or the CGT. Take note that capital gains tax should be paid within 30 days from the date of notarization, and DST should be paid on the nearest 5th day of the month after the notarization date. Make sure to comply to avoid penalties and fines. Step 3. Pay the required taxes. You may now proceed to the authorized agent bank AAB duly accredited by the BIR and pay the required documentary stamp tax, value-added tax, and CGT or the capital gains tax. Prepare the following documents which you might also need: the signed computation sheet from the BIR, deed of conveyance. This is a document that indicates the transfer of ownership from the previous owner or seller to the buyer. 3 copies of duly filled out BIR Form 1706 for capital gains tax signed by the seller. 3 copies of filled out BIR Form 2000 OT to pay for documentary stamps signed by the buyer. And step 4. Get a certificate authorizing registration or CAR. The certificate of authorizing registration CAR is mandated by the National Internal Revenue Code. It's a tax clearance document and proof that all taxes entailed with sold property have been settled accordingly. You can claim the CAR as scheduled along with these documents which should have already made stamped by the BIR. Deed of sale. Original copy stamp received by the BIR. Duplicate copy of the CCT or TCT as received by the BIR. Original copies of the Form 2000. Stamp received by the BIR. Tax declaration for land and improvement. You'll receive 2 copies of the CAR. The brown copy is for you to keep while the blue copy is for you to use during the transfer. Step 5. Submit the CAR or the CAR to the local treasurer's office. At this stage, you need to submit your CAR to the local treasurer's office for the transfer tax. Make sure to pay the transfer tax within 60 days after the notarization of the deed of conveyance. Upon payment, the treasurer's office will provide you the receipt as a proof of payment of the transfer tax. You'll then need to go back to the BIR to have the deed of conveyance stamped. And after this stage, you should have the original deed of conveyance stamped, marked, and signed by both the BIR and the Treasurer's Office. Step 6. Submit the documents to the Registry of Deeds for registration. It's now time to register your property. You can now proceed to the Registry of Deeds and submit the following: deed of conveyance, deed of absolute sale, copies of IDs of all signatories, official receipt of the notary public used to notarize the deed of sale, certified true copy of the original land title, tax clearance, latest tax declaration, and clearances from the Homeowners Association if applicable. Also, birth certificate, certificate of no marriage, marriage certificate, and once you've submitted the required documents and, of course, paid for the registration fees, you usually need to wait about 2 weeks before you can acquire the new land title under your name. And step 7, secure a new tax declaration from the local assessor's office. Do not forget this step. And with the new title acquired from the Registry of Deeds, you can now secure a new tax declaration certificate from the assessor's office. The new owner should pay all the assessment fees under the new tax declaration. Here are some documents you may need to submit: original copy and photocopy of the new land title, a copy of the old title named under the previous owner, deed of conveyance, certified true copy of the new tax declaration, business tax receipt or business permit if the previous owner is a corporation, duplicate copy and photocopy of the certificate authorizing registration or the CAR from the BIR, tax clearance, and photos of the property bought. And congratulations! You've successfully transferred the land title to your name. The process might seem intricate, but with careful attention to each 7 steps and the guidance of a legal professional, you can navigate it smoothly. Property ownership in the Philippines seems like a complicated process, but it just takes a little bit of patience to accomplish the transfer of titles properly. You need to have the right documents and be familiar with the responsible government agencies to make the entire process a lot more manageable. Understanding the importance of legal documents like a land title will also allow you to maximize the benefits of property ownership. Let this guide on how to transfer a land title in the Philippines help you with that. And if you find this guide helpful, make sure to like and subscribe and share for more informative content. And remember, when buying a property, make sure it's Zambales Realty. Ciao.